on to something that kind of ties in. Actually, I just looked at the topic list, and it still ties into kind of what we're talking about. And yeah, it's the death of Rush Limbaugh. Right, so Rush Limbaugh passed away on I don't know what day, cause fuck him. I just heard, and I was happy. I
So
had a
cold.
huge smile on my face. I was like, dude, that's a good one. Finally, they take a piece of shit. Um, and so this is how it ties in, right? 15.5 million listeners weekly.
Yeah.
Most listened to radio in the United States, radio show in the US. Um, he had these things called AIDS updates. So every time somebody died from AIDS, like he would make fun of them. Uh, I got some quotes. Some of these are pretty fucked. So he goes, "It's preposterous to think white people should have guilt about slavery when they have done more to end it than any other race. They have discovered that Obama does have slave blood. I can say the N word, Nigga, because it's not racist. How many Indians were killed by the arrival of the white man? And how many people have died due to the lung cancer thanks to the Indian invented custom of smoking tobacco? Who are the real killers here? Where are our reparations? NFL all too often looks like a game between the Bloods and the Crips without any weapons. Uh, and I actually saw an article not too long ago. I don't know if I think it was legit, but it said that Florida was thinking about lowering the flags for him. So we're talking about this insane side of politics. Rush Limbaugh dies. He was a piece of shit, but he was the most listened to person on the radio.
Hmm.
Uh, Somebody say something.
Well, clearly, he was no stranger to, controversial remarks. Obviously, um, I'll be honest. I know who the guy was, and I don't know anything much after that. Like I never heard him, never watched him, never cared. But I always knew kind of like the mindset that he was in, right? And I knew that he was, he was a POS for sure. Um, I mean, I don't wish death upon anybody, never would, but it's part of life. And sometimes, the good ones go, and we ask ourselves why, and sometimes bad ones go, and we don't ask a single question.
Do you think
Uh,
it's sorry? Because Hector, I know, like you follow like your faith and everything, right? Like your beliefs and everything. Do you think that it's wrong to wish death upon a person who causes uh, harm, like to an entire country?
yeah, I think at that point still, it's wrong to wish death upon anybody because it should be out of your hands. It should be left up to karma because it's. I always say this. I don't want to. I don't know. I'm not applying it to to Rush being dead, but I always say this. Karma is a beautiful thing, and if you're lucky enough, you'll be around to see it. All right. So I don't know, Alan. You feel beautiful.
I just think that there's like a difference between like what if I would just pray that I'm like, oh, I hope he dies of natural causes soon.
Well,
Like I don't want anything bad to happen to him, but
I know. I'm speaking on like it's an ideal, right? Like it's like the in a perfect world, obviously, but we're not perfect and we're humans. So yeah, man, like these thoughts have come in my mind before. I'm not gonna lie and be like I wouldn't wish that. Well, why not? I mean, I'll be honest. I said that like, hey, man, like Trump might die any day. You know, like why not Trump? Obviously, I didn't mean it, but that thought did come through my head, right? I'm not gonna deny that it didn't, right? So it's natural, and and it happens. But to really like hate somebody to the point where like, yeah, that guy needs to die. I can't wait, and I'm so happy. I don't think I don't think it will run through your head like that, or Geo, right? Maybe other people that I don't associate with anymore. Probably it would run through their head. But as far as just regular human beings, I think that we're all just I think yeah, we probably thought the same thing at one point about them. So yeah, so it's not necessarily wrong to think the thought. I think the intention behind it, and if it consumes you emotionally, right? Yeah, that's probably when you should draw the line.
Gio, what do you think?
So Rush Limbaugh, he's not as bad as let's say somebody like Dick Cheney or George Bush, who were responsible for like directly responsible for the murder of like hundreds of thousands of civilians and American soldiers, right, back in 2004. But he's pretty close, right?
But he's got
He
15
advocated for
point.
the war.
Yeah, sorry, he got 15.5 million people listening to him, and he's telling them that those are the good. Those are the good guys.
Yeah, exactly. So he was not as bad, but he was really close, right? He's almost as bad as those people, right? That are he didn't kill anybody, right? But he did advocate for a lot of horrible things and say a lot of terrible things and brainwashed millions of people, right?
Yeah.
I'm with Hector. I'm not like religious or spiritual, but I also don't think that I would want to wish harm on other people, right? Uh, Even if they've caused harm to other people, because it's kind of logically inconsistent to wish harm on somebody when like you're trying to prevent harm to people. uh, but actually, I used to listen to Rush Limbaugh when I was a kid. I would spend my like I was 11, 12. I would be up all night listening to like late night talk, like on AM on an AM show, and then I would wake up to his voice like at 8 in the morning to go to school, and I would hear him like yelling and shit, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why is this guy so angry? And luckily, I never went down that pipe where I'm like, yeah, this guy's awesome. I never really went down, but I've known him for a long time. I've known who he is. Um, but yeah, I think that it's probably best that he is no longer saying the things he's saying. Let's put it at that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and but then there's always been a market for that kind of like speech, right? Like, especially nowadays, there's a market for that kind of speech. We think of who's the black woman who is right wing? What's
Candace
her name?
Owens.
Owens.
Candace Owens, right? Yeah, people like that, or all the people that we've been mentioning on the show. Right, they're in it, and they're saying similar things to what he said, and they're making a lot of money off of it. So there is a market still, and so we have to figure out a way to combat that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Uh,
go ahead.
is it? I was just thinking, what's worse, the person who's always saying a bunch of crap and hating a bunch of people, or the person who's actually like hurting people physically, emotionally? Well, maybe I guess the words would be like could cause emotional pain, right?
Well, that's
The
that's the
word,
thing. Like, yeah, you have to be responsible for what you fucking say on the
right?
radio. So this guy is like, the shit that I listed off is like just the stuff that I found like within like a 5 minute clip. Like he's got like hours and hours and hours of bullshit.
Is he like on an independent radio station, or does he own it, or what? Like, how is he getting his content out there without being checked or over, like without there being like oversight?
When I was listening to him, he would broadcast on 640 AM. That's an AM station, and that's a KFI 640 in Los Angeles, and they would broadcast his show to Los Angeles. And so
Yeah, I'm not sure if now he's like on Sirius or XM or whatever the fuck, but yeah, it's just the way that like we had people like Howard Stern back in the day, right? Like he was jumping from radio station to radio station until he finally found somewhere to work, and he was saying outlandish shit. And this is a point that I wanted to make, and like I think this is why everything is like this, is because, dude, now it's more fucking interesting, right? Everybody's tuned into politics now. Everyone knows the garbage on this person and knows all the fucking secrets on this person. We got everything doesn't escape the internet now, so everyone can just go ahead and see who's fucking up, shit on them. Uh, it's more clicks, right? More clicks, more views. This is all how everything's just been going trending that way, right? I could even remember like you were talking about how you woke up to him in the morning. I remember when Jerry Springer was a serious show. Like he would fucking bring on like actual guests who were going through serious shit, and like it was really serious. And then it's like, yo, nobody wants to watch this anymore. It has to get crazier, and now we got bitches fighting on stage, right, with fans. And they got Steve. So that's what happened to politics, right? Now that everyone has access to the internet or whatever, they need to make it interesting, right? And there's so many, like, this is a podcast that's being born from the same shit, right? Everybody wants to talk, everybody wants to put their voice out there, and to make it interesting, sometimes you gotta shit on people, but it's over, you know. They've flooded the market with bullshit now.
Mm-hmm. He died of lung cancer, and the funny thing about that, well, not funny thing, but the ironic thing about that is that he didn't believe in. I guess he did believe that cancer was real. He just didn't think that that he was gonna die so soon. I think he said that smoking, you'll get lung cancer like in 50 years if you start smoking. Like today, it takes about 50 years for you to get lung cancer, which is obviously false. I'm not saying that as a joke. I'm just saying, like, I know people who died of lung cancer, and it doesn't take 50 years. There's no set number.
Wow. Some people never get it, right? They just fucking smoke and they run marathons, and like it's all good, right? Like some people just don't. So that's stupid. He just never got. He didn't live to see his reparations from the Indians. So that's sad. Hey guys, don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what you hear. And if you want to hear some of the issues that you care about discussed on Discussion Lounge, go ahead and drop them in the comments section.